Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Riding with Russo. In this video, I'm going to cover some of the modifications I've done to my Suzuki DRZ400 Supermoto. And these modifications, I think, are modifications that everyone should do and make the bike a better bike, a more practical bike to live with every day. Now, these modifications don't make the bike any faster, they don't make it stop any quicker, they don't make it more powerful, they just make it an easier bike to live with on a day-to-day basis. So the first modification I'm going to talk about, oh, and before I get into that, I've had this bike now for about 6 months and has about 1,400 miles on it. So the first modification I'm going to talk about, and one I think you should do right away, immediately as soon as you get this bike, is change the seat. So this is a Sgt Seat. I got this after about 600 miles and it totally transforms the bike. Now I'll put the stock seat up here to kind of show you a comparison. So the stock seat is this two-tone thing. It looks pretty nice, but you'll see, or hopefully you can see, how much narrower it is. You should probably have about 2 more inches. The aftermarket seat is probably about 2 inches wider on either side. So you're probably gaining about 4 inches total. And so it makes a huge difference. I think the stock seat, after about 45 minutes, anything over an hour is just really uncomfortable. It's soft, but it's too soft. So this seat is just much better for any distance over, I'd say, an hour. It's firmer, but firm is kind of what you want. The only complaint I'd have about the seat maybe is that it's a little bit slippery. I wish it was a little grippier, but that's kind of my only complaint about the seat. Like I said, this is a Sgt. The other ones I was looking at were Seat Concepts and Corbin. I think this seat, and I'll put a link in the description, this seat retails for about $380. The Seat Concept is about $100 cheaper at $280. That's for a complete new seat pan. They also offer a kit where they'll send you the foam and the cover, and you can redo it yourself. I didn't want to do that. And then the other one I was looking at was Corbin. They've been making seats for a while, and they have seats basically for every bike that's ever been made. That's the most expensive seat. I think that's like $450. So I went with the Sgt, and I'm very happy. So seat, first improvement I would do, and it really transforms the bike. The next thing I think is really needed is storage. So you'll see now I have this bag and this rack. Stock, it doesn't come with that. It comes with this very small pouch on the back. I'll put a picture up, and it comes with a tool bag in this little pouch, and that's about all you can fit in there. Maybe you can fit like registration or something, but that's it. And the seat doesn't pop off. So there's no storage underneath the seat. So that teeny little pouch you get is the only storage you have. So what I did is I took that off, and I have a rack. This is a Precision rack from Precision Motorcycle Rack. That's the name of the company. And this is their Enduro series. They have a couple different lines. They also sell some hardware that you can mount side bags. But I bought the rack from them and also the bag from them. So this is a Nelson Rig tail end bag, and you can buy it as a combo through Precision Motorcycle Rack. And the good thing about the rack is you can't really see, but because the bag's on, but there's some mounting holes up top, so you can mount like a fuel container, any number of things. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in what you put on there, and it is on here pretty well. It's solid. It mounts here to where the seat goes in, and there's some support underneath, so it is pretty solid. I don't know what the carrying capacity is, but it does feel pretty solid. And then the bag mounts with some ties down below here, so it's on there pretty solid. The bag itself is waterproof. It's big enough to hold, you have a little pouch up here with some registration. It's certainly big enough to hold, a sweatshirt, pair of gloves, bottle of water, anything like that. So I think it's really useful. I always have something in there, usually water and a pair of gloves. It also does expand. Let's see here. And that comes up, and that increases the size. I've never done that or used it, but if you did that, you could certainly fit a sweatshirt, maybe a pair of sneakers in there. Maybe you could use it as kind of like an overnight bag. So it's I think it's really practical. So very happy with both those. the rack, and the bag. The last modification I'm going to talk about or that I've done, unfortunately, is kind of a fail. I can't recommend it. So this is the quad lock case mounting system. So it comes with a case. It's a complete kit. It comes with the case and the mounting hardware for the bike. The case is really nice. It feels good. It's actually pretty thin, and I guess the carve out on the back is how it mounts up to the mounting bracket. So you simply put the phone on, and it locks in. And you can also twist it around, and you can fully change how it's mounted. So if you want it up here, you want it down here, it's all the angles are completely customizable. So in theory, it sounds really cool. The problem is the vibration from this bike, and maybe other bikes that are kind of buzzy like this, maybe a parallel twin, maybe a V-twin, I'm not sure. Probably not an issue with something like an inline 4 or triple. But the vibration from the bike goes through the handlebars, and it broke my camera. Had to get the camera replaced, which was kind of a bummer. And since then, or I guess this is since summer when I first bought this, they do sell, Quadlock sells what they call a vibration reduction device that mounts here, and it's supposed to stop the vibration from getting to your phone and damaging your camera. It's not expensive, it's only another $20, but I'm not going to risk putting it on, and the only way you find out is if your phone doesn't break. And for an iPhone, it's like $100 to replace the camera. So I'm not going to do that. And I was a little disappointed. I reached out to them and told them what happened. They said, oh, you can buy this. Yeah, thanks. A little late. And when I first bought the mount and the case, there was not a disclaimer on the website saying that, oh, vibration could be a potential problem. There is now. So I would just wish I had known about it, and I probably would have bought the vibration dampener right away, and then maybe I wouldn't have had this problem. Because it's really unfortunate. It's a cool system. It's really secure on there. I mean, you can see it's moving the whole bike. It's not going anywhere. So I wish one that they had maybe warned people about the vibration back in August. But I guess that's unfortunate. Like I said, you could buy the vibration dampener, maybe it's going to be okay, but I'm not going to roll the dice. So those are the 3 mods that I've done. Definitely recommend the seat, definitely recommend the rack and the bag, definitely do not recommend the quad lock case and mounting. What modifications might I do? So the common one you hear everyone talk about for the Suzuki DRZ400s, whether it's the Supermoto or just the S model, is this what's called a 3x3 mod, and then rejetting. So when I first saw that, what is the 3x3? It's literally where you cut a 3-inch by 3-inch hole in the top of your airbox to get more air into the engine. And then combination with that, most people will rejet the engine, which basically make changes to the carburetor so more fuel can get in the engine. So you have more air, then you have more fuel, so you have more power. And then generally what people will do too is they'll change the exhaust. So you have more air, you have more fuel, and changing the exhaust in theory will get the fumes out of the bike quicker, and again you get more power. I haven't done that. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think the bike has plenty of power as is, so I don't think I'm going to do that. The thing I may do is I may re-gear the rear sprocket. So most guys will do that, or if they do that to a Supermoto, they go up in teeth. So this is a 41 tooth sprocket in the rear, and they'll maybe put on a 44 or a 45, and what that does is gives it low end power. So now you can do a wheelie in 3rd gear where you can't before. But what it sacrifices is high end. So when you're at say 60 miles an hour, you'll be at a higher RPM. So that's not what I want to do. I want to do the opposite. Because this bike only has 5 gears on the highway, it's a little bit buzzy and it's revving kind of high. So my thought was I was going to go down a couple teeth. So maybe put a 39 tooth sprocket on the rear. And it's a pretty cheap thing to do. The sprocket, I don't know, it might be $50 or something like that. And then it's just some time and labor. So I'm thinking about doing that. That might be my next modification. The other thing I've looked at is I think it's Zeta makes some cool hand guards that come out. They mount to the end of the handlebars, and then they either mount here or they should get a bracket that mounts down here. And I think it just looks kind of cool, so I may do that. But that's all I have. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and in the comments section, if you have a DRZ and you've done some modifications, feel free to put a comment in and tell everyone what you guys have done. All right, that's all I have for today. Thanks everyone. Have a good one.